everyone. Welcome to Movie World. I'm Robert Waldman, and I'm raring to go. We have, actually, I was going to say a horse racing movie. No, nothing to do with horses, unless you're talking about horsepower. And boy, does this baby have it. As a matter of fact, so did Tom Cruise back in 1999 when he starred in Days of Thunder. No, not Thunderball, the 1965 James Bond movie, but a movie produced by two of the best producers in Hollywood history, Jerry Bruckheimer and Don Simpson. Now, the director of Days of Thunder was Tony Scott. Tony Scott was the man that helmed Tom Cruise in his mega breakout movie, namely Top Gun. Well, instead of having fun and action in the skies and on the ground, this time the action in Days of Thunder is all on the ground, at the racetrack, the road racetrack, NASCAR to be exact. So let me tell you a little bit about Days of Thunder. Excuse the airplane up above. No, it's not from Top Gun. The movie Days of Thunder is all about a road racing movie. It stars Tom Cruise as Cole Trickle, not the trickle-down effect. See, Cole is one of those arrogant, up-and-coming hotshot riders that needs a car. Who better than Harold Hoge to give him a car to try to race for a character played by Randy Quaid. Now, Harry Hoge is played by none other than Robert Duvall, who would reteam with Tom Cruise 30-odd years later in one of the Jack Reacher movies. Robert Duvall, remember him? He was a consigliere to the Corleone family in the original Godfather Part 1, Godfather Part 2. Masterful performance. So here's the story. Harry at first doesn't really want to go back into NASCAR racing. There was a mishap years ago involving, I believe, his brother or son. So he's reluctant, especially reluctant to have a guy that's cocky and arrogant like Cole Trickle to pilot his car. Wouldn't you know it, but Cole manages to somehow sweet-talk Harold into building a car financed by Randy Quaid's character. So then we're off to the races. Naturally, there's great stock car footage in this movie. It follows the NASCAR circuit throughout North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Utah, Arizona, and Florida, winding up at the Daytona 500. Now, a little bit of history. If you watch closely Days of Thunder, you would see sprinkled throughout some of those events, some of those racetracks, the Confederate flag. Now, the Confederate flag, and I'm not much into American politics, I'm more into movies, but I think the Confederate flag has been a flashpoint in all the racial tensions that currently is happening in the United States, Canada, and around the world. But I digress. No racial tension in this movie, just a lot of fun. Cruise, as always, is smooth, he's cocky, a little bit brash, and he looks really good in this movie. He's a good-looking guy. Whether you like it or not, you have to give him that credit. Duvall is very crusty as an old geezer that wants to finally win again. Randy Quaid, as always, many people remember him from Independence Day. He's very good as the owner. The movie also features as Ross Wheeler, Cary Elwes, a great British actor, but has a rivalry on the track with Cruise. And it also has an early appearance by John McKinley, who's very good, who's a very fine comedian, who's graduated to be a big comic in many movies with Will Ferrell and others. I forgot to mention one other key part of this movie, the lady, Dr. Lewicki, played by none other than Nicole Kidman, who would end up being Mrs. Tom Cruise. I don't know if they got hitched before or after, but there is some romantic tension in the movie. And yes, they do get it on. Great movie, a macho movie, definitely for the guys, but if you like Tom Cruise, you have to see Days of Thunder. And after this movie, I think a little while after, Don Simpson passed away, which is very sad because he was a guy, along with Jerry Bruckheimer, that really created the blockbuster movies as we know them today. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I have to give this movie, Days of Thunder, I got to give it a 7. Not quite as good as Top Gun, but then again, what could be? Bottom line, a fun time at the movies. Thanks for watching. Robert Waldman for Movie World. Hope to see you soon.